everyone. Welcome to our segment of Rebel Influencers here on the Hidden Millions podcast. I'm super excited to have my good friend here, Val, and she is the founder of RIF Care. Thank you so much for doing this video Zoom. I know it's pretty casual, but I know you're a busy girl, so I had to squeeze you in sometime.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and asking me.
Yes, and we go way back from modeling. And you've just grown so much as a female entrepreneur. So I have to applaud you for that. And I love what you're doing with RIF Care. So give the audience a little, dealio of what your company's about. I know it's hemp products, but I love that you even donate a certain percentage of all your products and you're all about women empowerment. And I'm just so excited that you're doing this.
Thank you so much. So RIF Care was really an idea that I had at the beginning of COVID. I decided that I was going to make a hemp, tampon, and maxi pad company. And I emailed all these factories and I thought, if hemp can be used in clothes, it can be used as cotton. And I got basically over 100 no's of people being like, that doesn't exist, we can't do it. And of course, everything went crazy and I kind of forgot about it. And I have another business, Role Models Management, which is an ethical talent agency, but I just could not drop this idea. So I had actually a hemp-based lube that I was selling on eBay, and this thing it was selling pretty well. And I thought, I really want to do this other idea. I'm just going to reach out to people, reach out to some friends and see how we can make it happen. So in August, I decided to incorporate, and we found a factory. We had to go through every single component to figure out how it could work. Hemp fiber is better than cotton because it's antimicrobial. It's better for the environment. It's better for odor. It's just generally better for women. And it's also a plant that has thousands of uses versus cotton that only has one use. So we found someone to manufacture the pads, and they are going to be released in April of 2022, which is around the corner.
Yes, I can't even believe it's already January of 2022. I feel like ever since the pandemic started, we've been in just this haze of a world. The whole world has been in a haze. But with that being said, so many influencers or people in our realm have become entrepreneurs, and in a different way because of drop shipping. There's so many different avenues of creativity that we can promote our products on. And I really like your product being a hemp-based woman empowering product because just like what you said, it's different. It's not like the cotton types of products that we get at CVS or Walgreens. This is actually better for you. And it's so weird because hemp has been around for so long in our products, but in our generation, it was tabooed, maybe because there's not a lot of education around it. People thought it was a THC product, which is not true. It does not make you hallucinate or anything like that. But,
totally.
But there's been so much stigma around it, but now there's more education, and here you are making this amazing brand to help women. I also noticed that you do donations for each product that you sell.
Yeah, it's really important to me. I mean, I realize that I have, a little bit of privilege coming into this. It's not because I have all the money in the world or whatever, but I was a model, so I know a little bit how marketing works. And I went through a period in my life where I had to leave an abusive relationship. And what was really important to me was that I could start on my own 2 feet again. And although I had the means to do that myself, I started volunteering with the VIP Center in Los Angeles. That's something that's really important to me, especially women who are on the street. I grew up in LA, and I see a lot of women end up homeless because of domestic violence, and end up homeless because a lack of financial support, family support, whatever. So, my brand, besides just being better for the environment and trying to really regenerate our land, I really want to add vitality to women's lives by supporting their projects eventually, supporting financially and donating 2% of all proceeds from RIF to homeless shelters and domestic violence shelters in Los Angeles. A really good project that they were doing was, doing these bags that people used to give out in Los Angeles. And then some people started donating feminine hygiene products. I also realized that a big part of my business has to be giving feminine hygiene products because women on the streets don't have access. And when they don't have access, they don't feel human. They don't feel human anymore. It's the really important element of my business. RIF really is going to grow into a brand that follows women from menstruation to motherhood. That's the goal of the brand. I mean, right now this year, what we're releasing is pads. I think that's the most important product. I mean, 80% of women use this product, and tampons are probably more popular culturally, but all around the world and even in the US, up to 80% of women. So that's the first product. But really, this product, I mean, this brand is growing into everything for wellness, from diapers and lingerie. I mean, we have so much in the pipeline for this brand, really utilizing hemp, because you talked a lot about influencer brands, and I love people capitalizing on their image, in a positive way, especially because, with modeling and acting, there's a timeline. But I think it's really important, instead of people just being like, I'm going to make money as quickly as possible, I'm going to do something that's going to have a legacy, that's going to leave the earth better than what, how I found it, I think is most important. I started an influencer brand with a friend a few years ago. And I remember thinking, when we were in the factory, like before COVID, but having to have masks on because the material was so toxic. Do you know what I mean? And I'm really thinking about women in a bigger way. Even the way we developed this product, it was okay to go back and forth with our manufacturer and trying to make the product super absorbent, and then also trying to make the product better for you and leave out the cancer causing chemicals that most companies, even eco companies, put in their products. And with lingerie, like for me, I'm just going to be very upfront. As much as I love Fenty, as much as I love For Love and Lemons, that stuff is not good for you. And that stuff is not good for the environment. So just working towards making things that are better and are going to leave a legacy, not just for myself financially, but also for the planet and for our children. I did so much research in the past year before I even launched and started to produce product. And there's all these companies coming out that were like, we're the most absorbent, we're the most this, we're the most that. And they weren't really caring about what went into it, because they were like, the consumer is not really going to read. And the thing is, consumers are reading. They're reading 80% more than we used to. And half of people actually take that knowledge into purchasing decisions. So I think as you build your brand, to not just build something that's super quick and cheap, but to think, how can I scale this amazing product to have a great price point? Because my price points are going to be affordable. You know what I mean? And like, maybe I'll take 10 cents on each box of product because of making it with hemp. I'll take that loss and you can keep your life. Like, that's just the trade-off for me. I'm totally fine with that. I think it's important that we start to build systems that can scale, and not even just scale, but I'm trying to lead a movement of carbon neutral and regenerative businesses. Like, our businesses actually make the earth better. Like, how about that? I think that's a novel idea, but it shouldn't be a new idea or a niche idea. I think that's what business is moving towards in the future.
No, 100%. And what gave you the epiphany to do this specific line?
You know what? I was literally on my period, and I was literally on my period, and I was like, just thinking, because I use hemp for so many things. Like, the most comfortable bras and underwear that I have are hemp, and they are like in tatters now. I'm just waiting for my samples to get here so I can wear my own stuff, but they're the most comfortable. I mean, and also I went through a year and a half of like dealing with, problems like yeast infections and all these things. And then finally cutting out nylon and polyester from my underwear, and then having the problem solved. And I'm like, why are women struggling and then not being told that, like, putting petroleum based items on your vagina is like doing this to you? We just don't have this information. So it was really a personal need, but also a need for the women around me to be educated about this, because I'm like, I do a lot of research. You guys don't know anything about this at all. So I've got to be the one to solve the problem. I mean, really, I think you're going to get a lot of no's when you start to look to start your company, right? Whether you want to private label something, or you want to make something that doesn't exist, or you want to buy something and curate your own website. I think it's really important to have a vision before you reach out to manufacturers, before you reach out to people. Have it on paper. Go on Canva. You don't have to create anything really cute, but just, have something typed up. Like, this is what I want to do. This is where I see my brand growing. I need t-shirts from you, or I need this from you, or I need you to print something on these water bottles. I think you need to tell people who you're working with what your vision is. And also, I tell people, do this, buy the website domains, make a landing page so that when you're emailing people, you're emailing from a professional email address. Maybe you have 1 or 2 products on there. And you don't need to do anything fancy, but you just need to show them that you are actually going to exist, because they get people, hundreds of people who reach out to them every single day. And that's why I tell people just start today. Like with my hemp pads and soon to be tampons, people were telling me no because we didn't exist yet. I was emailing them from some random email address. And like for me, minimum orders are like in the 6 figures. So I was just some random person off the internet. As soon as I started selling on eBay, I had reviews on my website for my hemp-based lube. And then I set up an Instagram. I started doing photo shoots. I got things like mock packaging printed out. They were like, oh, she's serious and she's going to do this. And then they started responding to me. I mean, people who also make products for some of the biggest companies in the world started responding to me. And it wasn't because I was special or because I had $100,000. It was because they saw that I was actually going to be working towards this. And this wasn't just some pipe dream. So I think just start today as small as you can, and people will tag onto your vision. It's not going to be as quickly as you think. You're maybe not going to sell out overnight, but the right people will see that you're on the right path.
100%. And that's a good point that you brought up, is like, some people assume you'll make sales within the first quarter, but usually the first quarter, the first 3 months, it's basically like trial and error. Sometimes even your graphic might not even come out the way you designed it and signed off. Sometimes the units, you have a certain amount of units and you might not even sell any of them, or you sell a few. And so it's important to be patient.
Yeah. I had to ask a lot of people. I just started reaching out to people. I was like, hey, can you help me do this? Can you help me do this? And with the pre-orders, I had someone who suggested crowdfunding. So we ended up doing Kickstarter. We raised $52,000, which seems like a lot of money, but for the project I have to do, that was just, yeah, it was, oh my God, that money's already gone. That money was gone on Thursday. You know what I mean? Like I had to make an order. And so now we have to go into doing another raise. But I think the pre-orders is really important to tell people that like, hey, we're starting, have a launch page, collect email addresses. Number one thing I would tell you right now is collect email addresses, go through your Gmail, download every single email address you've ever emailed and tell them, hey, I'm starting this thing. It's launching next month. Hey, this thing's launching next week, and then get it out there that way. And I mean, people will unsubscribe, people will not be interested, but you will get people who start to shop from you. And if you can do anything in person, another thing I did was I started going to farmers markets, because my product was selling on eBay, but I'd be selling like 2 or 3 a week or something. I didn't really have reviews yet. I went to farmers markets and I would sell out of my soap. I would sell out on my oil. I mean, I'd be like, oh my God, I moved like 30 units in 4 hours, which is not that much, but it's better than nothing. And then it got my product in people's hands, which got their email addresses on my site, got followers. So that's what it took. I was like, I'm just going to do 5 markets this year, 5 grant applications, and start the business. Like that was my goal. And I was able to do all of that. Plus we have so many cool partnerships coming up. So if you go on the website and you subscribe, we don't email that much. We're not like a weekly or a daily email, but we have a lot of really good information on there, especially about your body, not just about our brand and products, not just about selling you things. We really want you to be healthy and have a, just like vitality in and out. So if you sign up on the website, you can also pre-order. People are like, I missed the Kickstarter, and we're already getting pre-orders for the pads in the past week. So that's fantastic. You can always go and pre-order, sign up, follow us on Instagram. We have amazing and very ethereal content that's really inspiring. Yeah, I guess one of the last things I'll say is that consumers can make the decisions they can make, but really manufacturers and brands, we need to be the ones who make decisions so that people don't have to make tough decisions between buying something that's cost effective and buying something that works and buying something that's healthy. So, I mean, as brands, like that's what I'm trying to encourage us all to do, is just to do better and make better for you products so that people don't have to think twice when they pick it up. They know they pick this up, it's $7.99, it's on par with Kotex and Always and all the other brands, and they know it's going to be better for you. You don't have to double click. You don't have to go and look at the ingredients and say, oh, what does this mean? I can't pronounce that.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Well, thank you so very much for your time. Yeah, so everyone, I'm Yenitza Munoz here for Rebel Influencer. You can check us out on the link below. And I also have my social media listed. Till next time, guys. Thank you, Val.
Thank you.